Yo, 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 what's up guys? How's it going? This is German Fernandez and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a ninja sword. Alright guys, so for those that haven't subscribed to my channel yet and would like to do so, you could do that by clicking the button right here at the top of the screen. One good thing about subscribing is that it'll notify you as soon as I release a new tutorial, so don't forget and subscribe now. Alright guys, so this is the sword we're going to be making today, and a quick heads up, I'm just letting you know, this is not an origami. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Okay, so we're going to be needing two different colors of paper, and we're going to be needing 2 red ones and 3 white ones, and they're all going to measure 11 by 8.5 inches. So once you got those, let's continue on to the next step. And you'll need the following tools. You'll need some scissors, you'll need a sharp razor blade, and guys, if you are not 18 years and older, adult supervision is required to use this tool. This tool is extremely dangerous, so if you're not of age, you have to ask your parents before even grabbing or using this tool. So please be very careful and use at your own risk. So once you set that aside, we're as well going to be needing a pencil. We're going to be needing some scotch tape, some regular tape, a glue gun, and I'm using a high temp glue gun, so this is my glue gun right here. And of course, if we're going to be using a glue gun, we need a glue stick, and we're not going to be needing much of it. As you see, mine's already been used for 2 other swords. So once you got all those tools, let's set them aside. Okay, so we're going to start off with the white sheet of paper, just one of them, and we're going to go ahead and fold it in half. And the way we're going to be doing that is by folding the bottom left corner towards the top left corner. And when we do so, we want to make sure that this bottom edge right here aligns nicely with the top edge. So let's go ahead and do that and align them nicely. Once you got those nicely aligned, go ahead and crease it down. Once it's nicely creased, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open this section back up. So let's go ahead and do that. Once you've opened it up, we want to fold this bottom left corner towards the end of this crease right here. And when we do so, we want to make sure that this bottom edge right here aligns nicely with our middle crease. So let's go ahead and align those nicely. Once you got them nicely aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down. And once it's creased, we're going to go ahead and open it back up. And now what we want to do is we want to fold this bottom left corner towards the end of this crease, making sure that this bottom edge aligns nicely with that crease right there. Once it's nicely aligned, go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so once it's nicely creased, we're going to go ahead and fold this section up all the way until we reach the top section. So we're going to do that by folding it right along the top edge. So as you see, we're going to fold it and crease. Now we're going to fold it along that top edge again. And when we do so, we want to try to match it up with this crease right here. So let's go ahead and fold it. And then once you got them nicely aligned, just go ahead and crease it down. And now let's do the same thing. Let's create a crease right along that top edge. And once you've done that, we're going to do that again and again and again until we reach the top.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Alright, so once you've folded that last one and you reach the top, make sure to crease it down nicely. Now I'm going to flip it over, and as you see, we got this little section right here popping upwards. So what we want to do is tape this whole section down. So let's go ahead and grab some scotch tape. Alright guys, so once you got it all taped down nicely, I want you guys to pay close attention because this next part might be a little tricky. So what I want you guys to do is with our fingers, we're going to go ahead and press down on these edges. But first, we're going to go ahead and separate these layers right here at the top. We want to make sure that there's an even amount going towards the left and an even amount of layers going towards the right. When we do so, make sure that this edge aligns nicely with this edge. So let's go ahead and unite those by slowly pressing it down. And once you got that top section, let's go ahead and move our way downwards.
For those who
Okay, so once you smash it down nicely, let's go ahead and make sure to crease down the edges as well. Remember, this is the blade section of the sword, so you want the edges to be nice and sharp. Alright guys, so once it's nicely creased down, you want to make sure that your top section looks just like this. That all the layers of paper are nicely distributed throughout the left side and the right side. And if they are, then you'll notice there's a nice little hole going straight down the middle of that sword. So if yours looks like this, then you're doing an excellent job. Okay, and now for this next step, we're going to be cutting this little section off right here. So grab some scissors and let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so from this bottom corner right here, we're going to be cutting towards the top left. So we're going to be cutting at a little angle and stuff. So once you got those nicely aligned, go ahead and cut it. Okay, so as you see, there's a little opening right here, and we do not want that. So what we're going to be doing is grabbing some tape and taping that section down. When you cut that little piece of tape off, you want to make sure it's longer than the section we're going to be taping off. And so once you've done that, tape it down, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to be doing it. Alright, so once you've taped it down, you want to make sure that it's nice and flat right here in this top section, and that you have a nice little opening right here. So if yours looks like this, then you're doing an excellent job. Let's go ahead and set this aside. Once you set that aside, let's go ahead and grab another white sheet of paper. And what we want to do now is roll the sheet of paper from this bottom right corner right here all the way to the top left corner. So you want to do it at like approximately this angle. So when you're rolling it up, make sure to roll it as tightly as you can. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, so as you see, I'm actually fast forwarding the video. That way you guys don't gotta watch me do this for like 3 minutes. It actually takes a little bit to get this rolled because you want to make sure to roll it as tightly as possible so that it's not a huge roll but a very small one. Alright, so once you get up to like this point right here, you want to grab a piece of tape. So let's go ahead and grab a little piece of tape about like an inch long. And then I'm going to stick it to my hand. You can stick it right here to the side, or you can stick it on your finger if you'd like, and that way it's easier to grab once you've rolled it all the way up. So once you got it rolled up, what you want to do next is tape down this little section. So let's grab the piece of tape and tape down that corner so that the whole roll doesn't just come apart. So, alright, so once it's nicely taped, this is what yours should look like. As you see, it's not all that big. It's about the thickness of a pencil. So let me go ahead and compare it to the pencil, that way you guys can see. So try to keep it about the same size as a pencil, no bigger. So once you've done that, let's go ahead and set that aside and grab another sheet of paper. Alright, so now we're just going to cut off about 3 inches off the bottom section of this piece of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold about 3 inches upwards, just like that. And once you got it nicely aligned, go ahead and crease it down. Once it's nicely creased, let's go ahead and open it back up. And now we want to cut right along the crease we just created. You could use your hands, or you could use some scissors. I personally, I'm just going to use my hands. It's just easier for me that way. It's just quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so once you cut that, guys, what you want to do next is grab a little piece of tape. So we're just going to need about 1 inch. So go ahead and grab that. Alright, so now we're going to grab our stick that we rolled up earlier, and we want to tape this slice of paper that we just cut to the stick. So you want to make sure it's nicely aligned so that it's not crooked. Once it's nicely aligned, go ahead and tape it down. Alright, so once you taped it down, let's go ahead and roll this piece of paper up. Make sure when you're rolling this piece of paper up that you roll it as tightly as possible. If you roll it up too thick, it's not going to fit through the sword and it just won't work. So make sure to roll it up tightly. Alright, once you're done rolling it up, what we want to do is tape this little section down right here. So let's go ahead and grab about 1 inch of tape. Once you got the tape, go ahead and tape it down so it doesn't come apart. Okay, so let's grab another piece of tape really quick. So cut off about like an inch. And we want to tape down this top section just in case so it doesn't come apart. So once you've done that, this is what yours should look like. Now let's go ahead and grab the blade that we created earlier. And what we want to do next is make sure that the rod fits right inside this little area right here. So make sure that your layers are nicely spread apart and just shove the rod in there. So if it fits in there and it looks like this, then it means you're doing an excellent job, yo. So now for the next step, what we want to do is remove the rod from the blade. And we're going to go ahead and set these aside. Now we're going to grab a red sheet of paper or whatever color you choose. And what we want to do next is fold it in half. So we're going to fold this bottom left corner towards the top left corner. And when we do so, we want to make sure that this bottom edge aligns nicely with the top edge. Once it's nicely aligned, go ahead and crease it down. Next, what we want to do is fold this bottom right corner towards the bottom left corner. And when we do so, we want to make sure that this edge right here aligns nicely with this edge. Once they're nicely aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down. And once you got it nicely creased, what we're going to do next is fold this bottom right corner towards the bottom left corner. And when we do so, we want to make sure that this edge right here aligns nicely with this one. Once it's nicely aligned, go ahead and crease it down. Once you got that nicely creased, what you want to do next is fold this bottom right corner towards the top right corner. And when you do so, make sure that the edges align nicely as well. Alright guys, so once you got it all nicely creased down, what we're going to be doing next is grabbing some tape. And what we're going to be using that tape for is to tape down all the edges right here so that it doesn't open up like this, like a book. So grab some tape and let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I'm going to start off with this side. Alright, so I'm done with this side. So if yours looks like this, then you're doing a good job. Now let's do the other side. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next side. Alright, so once you've done those three sides that have the openings on them, I would go ahead and do the same thing to this top section, even though it doesn't have a little opening or anything, and that's just so that it doesn't look weird. That way, you know, all your four sides have it. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so once you're done with this section, you're going to notice that one of your sides will look nice and the other side will look weird. And so we're going to go ahead and use the weird looking side, the one with the tape that looks all sloppy. So what you're going to be needing next is a ruler and a pencil. And what we want to do is we want to draw a line from this bottom left corner to the top right corner. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so once you guys are done drawing this line, we're going to draw another one from the upper left corner to the bottom right corner. Okay, so once you've done that, we're going to draw a line straight down the middle section. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we're going to draw a line from this edge to the right side, so straight down the middle as well. Okay, so once you're done drawing those lines, what you're going to be needing next is to grab our blade that we created earlier, and we're going to go ahead and use the edge to determine how big of a cut we're going to be creating on the middle section. So make sure to place it nicely straight down the middle so that the crease matches with our existing lines, and then we're going to go ahead and mark the sides so that we know exactly where we need to cut. So we're going to mark these little areas right here. Alright guys, so once you've created those reference points, we're going to go ahead and create another one right here, about a 1/4 inch away from the middle line to the left, and same thing on the right side. Once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and unite those reference points so that it forms a diamond shape. Once you've drawn the diamond shape, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in just to show you guys the area we're going to be removing. And so this is the little shape we want to remove off this paper. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab my clipboard and my razor blade, and the reason I'm grabbing my clipboard is because I don't want to ruin my desk. You know, I have a really nice black desk and I don't want to scratch it or anything with my razor blade, so I'm going to go ahead and use this clipboard for that. So when you guys are cutting this shape out, guys, what I like to do is go over the same line over and over again until I could flip it over and I could see that it actually penetrated all the way through. Once it does and I see that you know it's gone all the way through, then I move on to the next line. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and you guys do this as well. Okay, so I believe I penetrated through all the layers, so let me go ahead and flip it over and check. As you see, it's actually marked, but it doesn't look like it's cut all the way, so I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time, and that should do it. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the next line and do the same thing to this side. Alright, so I think I penetrated all the layers. Let me go ahead and flip it over and check. Yep, there we go. So now I'm going to move on to the next line. Alright, and I pressed a little harder on this side and I got it done quicker, so now I'm going to move on to the next line. Alright, I think after this little cut right here, I think I got them all. Alright, so let me go ahead and try to remove that middle section. Let's see if I got it. Boom. Yep, I got it. Alright, cool guys. So if yours looks like this, then awesome. Let's go ahead and set these aside. What you want to do is make sure to put your razor blade away. Put the cap on it. If it doesn't have a cap, then try to, set it aside responsibly so that it doesn't cut anyone or harm your pets or anything. So if yours looks like this, then awesome. And what we're going to be doing now is setting the clipboard aside since we're not going to be using the razor blade. And now we want to grab our rod and our blade. And what we're going to be doing next is grabbing our rod and shoving it inside the blade like we did earlier. So make sure that all your layers are spread apart so that the rod doesn't fold any of those layers up. So let's try to get it in there very carefully. Once you get it in there, make sure it goes straight down the middle, straight down that crease area. Okay, cool. So once you got that rod in there, let's go ahead and grab our red little shape right here. And I'm going to make sure that these pencil marks are facing downwards so that you can't really see them when I'm holding up my sword. And I'm going to go ahead and slide it through the rod. And then make sure that very carefully I try to slide the blade through it without harming the blade. So as you see, if yours slides through like this, then you're doing an excellent job. As you see, my pencil marks are in the bottom. You can always erase them with your eraser. They're just pencil marks. So if yours looks like this, then that means you're doing an excellent job, guys. Okay, so once you've done that and it fits in there nicely, let's go ahead and remove it again. And now let's set the blade in that shape aside. After that, we're going to grab a red sheet of paper and fold it in half. And we're going to do that by folding this bottom left corner towards the top left corner. And when we do so, we want to make sure that this bottom edge aligns nicely with the top edge. So let's go ahead and do that. Once you got them nicely aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down nicely. Okay, cool. So once you got that crease down, let's go ahead and grab our blade and that rectangle with a diamond shaped cut. And we're going to go ahead and slide it through. And what we're going to be doing next is that red sheet of paper that we just folded in half, that's going to be our handle for the sword. So what we're going to be doing is measuring the width of the blade so that it slides through the handle without a problem. As you notice, I'm going to go ahead and leave a little gap off the top so that the sword actually fits in there nicely. If we go in and align that top section with our red paper, it's just not going to fit in there because it's going to be too tight of a fit. So make sure to make this little line right here a little wider than the width of the actual blade so that it could actually slide in there without a problem. Alright, cool guys, so once you've marked that, what we want to do is fold this top section down so that it folds straight down that little line we just created. So make sure to fold it down very nicely and make sure that your left side edges align as well. So then once you've done that, crease it down, and now we're going to fold it again straight down this bottom edge right here. And when you do so, you want to make sure that the left side edges right here align nicely. So let's go ahead and do that, crease it down again, and let's repeat the same fold over and over again until we reach the bottom section. Alright guys, so now we reach the bottom. So you'll notice you'll have this little section right here popping upwards. We don't want that, so what we're going to do is tape this section down. So let's grab some tape and let's go ahead and do that. Alright, cool. So I cut the piece of tape a little too long, so I'm going to go ahead and tape it off to the back. But the problem with that is that this is the handle, and that bottom section needs to be able to open. So I'm going to go ahead and, with my razor, I'm going to go ahead and cut that section open, just to make sure that it does that. Okay, cool. So now what we want to do is move on to the next step. So this is what yours should look like. As you see, it's taped down, and if it is, what we want to do next is go ahead and split these layers apart equally so that there's a equal amount on the left, equal amount on the right. So let's go ahead and open that section up, fold it, crease it down a little bit just like that. And so if yours looks like this, then awesome. Now we're going to go ahead and grab our blade with the rod, grab that little rectangle with the diamond shape cut, and what we're going to be doing next is this diamond shape cut right here. We're going to go ahead and slide our blade through it. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure that your pencil marks are facing downwards. So very carefully fit it in there. Try to not mess up your blade. Alright, so once it's in there, let's go ahead and try to slide through our handle and make sure that everything fits in there properly. So, okay, so it's giving me a little issue here. Let me slide this a little upwards so I could try to fit this sucker in. Okay, so as you see, I'm very careful with it. You know, I'm making sure that I'm not messing up my blade. Okay, since it all fits in there nicely, let's go ahead and take this all apart again. And what we want to do is grab that other sheet of paper that we cut earlier, this little guy. And as you see, I've already folded this white piece of paper in half, and so that it fits nicely on that rod right there. So go ahead and fold it in half if you haven't. Once you've done that, you're going to need a piece of tape to tape down this little section right here. So let's go ahead and grab that. Alright, so once you got that piece of tape cut, let's go ahead and stick half of it on the piece of paper and the other half on the rod. And make sure to try to align the rod and that edge piece of paper nicely so that it's not crooked. Alright, so once you've done that, let's go ahead and roll it up, and make sure to roll it up as tightly as you can so that it's not like super thick, because if it is, it's just not going to fit through your handle. So let's go ahead and roll that up. As you see, my paper is going to start like folding all weird and wobbling up. Just ignore that. Just keep going and try to get it You know, try to roll it up as straight as possible. Alright, so as you see, mine's folding a little weird. It's all like sloppy and stuff. Who cares? As long as this section's not too thick and it fits through the handle, then you're fine. So now let's grab a piece of tape, but very carefully grab it because you don't want your little paper that you just rolled up coming apart. So now let's put that piece of tape on there so it doesn't unroll. And now I'm gonna tape down the left section a little more as well, just so that it slides through that handle a little better. Alright, so once you've done that, let's go ahead and grab that red rectangle with the diamond shaped cut and slide it right through, making sure that our pencil marks are facing downwards. So as you see, it slides through there. And what we want to do next is slide it through the blade, just like that. Now let's put our handle on there, see if it fits. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and make sure that that our handle slides through that rod. Okay, so it fits in there perfectly, and it should fit through the blade as well, because we checked it earlier. So as you see, all these parts will start moving. They're not going to be tight. So what we want to do is glue them down. So we're going to go ahead and grab our glue gun and put some glue on this bottom section right here. Let me go ahead and show you where. You see these little edges right here? We're going to go ahead and put some glue on there. So let's go ahead and get our glue gun ready. Okay, so if you have a really nice desk like I do, you want to make sure to protect it. This hot glue gets all over the place. So I'm going to grab my clipboard and set the sword on top of it so that I don't mess up my desk. Alright, so now we're going to be applying this hot glue to this diamond shaped cut we just created. So make sure to apply quite a bit on there. Don't like be all skimpy and stuff and put a little, like just barely a little bit. Go ahead and apply a lot. You don't want your sword coming apart when you're battling all these crazy ninjas and monsters and stuff. So, you know, just go ahead and apply quite a bit. Once you've done so, we're going to go ahead and slide our handle through the blade, making sure that it comes in contact with that glue. And if you feel like there's not enough glue on there and that it's not going to stick as well and it possibly could come apart, what you want to do is just add more glue to that whole section. So let's go ahead and do that just in case. Okay, cool. So I think that's enough glue right there. Like I said, don't be afraid. Put as much as you want, as long as it doesn't interfere with your battling. Okay, so once yours looks like this and it's got enough glue, you want to make sure that your rod's not sticking out, that it's actually aligned with our handle. And so now we're going to go ahead and add glue to these sections right here. So let's go ahead and do that. And like I said, guys, do not be afraid to put a little extra glue on there, you know, that way your sword doesn't fall apart. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I think that's enough glue. I think this sword's definitely gonna last through all the zombie fights and ninja killing and monsters slashing that I'm gonna be doing. So yeah, that's it, guys. We want to make sure to let that glue dry very well. If not, your sword's probably gonna come apart and just be disastrous. Alright guys, so there you have it. There's your ninja sword. I hope you guys had fun. I hope yours turned out great, and if it didn't, just keep trying. Just watch the video over and over again. I'm sure you'll get it eventually. And yeah, guys, if you guys haven't thumbs up this video yet, make sure to do so if you enjoyed it, and feel free to comment and let me know what you thought about it. I love hearing you guys' opinions, so go ahead and do that. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. Don't miss out by clicking the button right here at the top of the screen. One cool thing about subscribing is that I have amazing tutorials coming up in the future, so don't miss out and subscribe now. Alright guys, well thank you once again for watching, and be careful out there. Use this sword wisely. Alright, take it easy, guys. Oh yeah, guys, and one more thing. If you guys would like to learn how to fold any of these origami pieces right here at the bottom of the screen, just go ahead and click on them and it'll forward you to the video. Alright guys, well thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.